This is 11 years of brutally honest reselling advice. I'm going to do my best to do it in 10 minutes, but if it exceeds, shouldn't be a problem because the aim of this video is to help you navigate the challenging world of reselling with straightforward and actionable advice. Yes, reselling is kind of difficult. There's no lying about that. And anybody trying to tell you that reselling is easy, the person probably is just lying to you. I've been selling on eBay since 2013. I've seen quite a lot, and I really do think that I have gotten what it takes to tell you a thing or two that will ensure that you succeed on your eBay journey. Because of the years I've put in, I can immediately feel your pain. I can feel your struggles when it comes to finding products to sell. Yes, this could be a difficult problem to navigate. I can feel your problems when you are overwhelmed by the market competition. Believe me, even though I have been selling for a very long time, I still see this problem, and sometimes it could be very overwhelming to navigate. Facing issues with inventory management and customer service. Sometimes, yes, you'll be expected to put in a lot of customer service, sometimes even against what you naturally want to deliver. But these are some of the pains that you might be feeling. Do let me know if there are some pains I have not picked up in these 3 broad points. But believe me, at the end of this video, we're going to be covering quite a lot, and I'm going to be giving you practical steps to overcome some of these stress points. Yes, it could be a major stress point when you are having difficulties sourcing the right quality product, managing your inventory efficiently. Yes, you might have items lying all around. You don't have a dedicated system to enable you manage this correctly. And when items say, you just realize that you don't have the items or you cannot really find the items. Handling customer complaints and returns. Yes, it could be very challenging because on eBay, truth be said, when you sell things, definitely you're going to be dealing with issues with customers and you're going to be dealing with customer returns. This is part of the package. You cannot think you want to make a lot of money without also having to deal with the consequent effect of your activities on eBay, which is having to reply customers, having to deal with their returns, and having to do so many other things that borders around customer service. Adapting to multiple selling platforms. Yes, selling on different platforms is pretty much trendy right now. And sometimes deciding on what platforms to sell on could be a source of stress for so many of you out there. Believe me, I've seen quite a lot, and these are some of the stress points I can easily think of right now. Like I said, if you have some stress points I have not covered, feel free to leave it in the comment section, and hopefully I'll be doing my best to get into all your points one after the other. Yes, it's not just a tale of woes. This video is not supposed to discourage you. It's not supposed to make you kind of lose hope in the whole process. There are actionable steps I'm going to be giving to you, and without wasting much time, we're going to be going to these steps one after the other. Lack of quality products. Yes, this is the first thing that you might notice if you are setting out to sell on eBay. You notice that you go to the thrift stores, you can't seem to find items. You notice that you go online, sometimes you might not even have the right items to buy, and sometimes the right items might be looking at you, but because you do not know these things, let's say you're a rookie seller, you don't know what sells, and you don't know how to even source for these items, this might be a little source of pain. So how do you navigate this kind of problem? In my opinion, there are 3 ways you can actually navigate this problem. First, you want to focus your energy on extensive research. You want to do a lot of research both on your phone, on desktop. It doesn't matter where you are viewing eBay from, just make research be your priority. Good enough, eBay has given us Terapic. This is a tool that enables us to see a lot of sold listings. It doesn't matter in the last 7 days, in the last 30 days. But the thing is, you just want to continue to take a look at Terapic. If you have decided to take eBay seriously, there's no way you can succeed on the platform without actually doing extensive research. And the more you begin to love this process, which is before you even think of buying anything to sell on the platform, ask yourself this question: have I taken a look at this item? Have I taken a look at the sold listings to see if it is worth investing on? Apart from extensive research, you want to follow trends. As soon as you cite an item that a lot of people are selling, that tends to be selling, because while you are doing your research, you can easily see the items that sell and the ones that don't sell. As soon as you discover that this particular item is selling, it could be a headphone, it could be a particular phone casing, you want to follow that trend. You want to look for a way as much as you can to see how you can reverse engineer where the item is coming from and see how you can also be part of the trend. See, following trend can be just one easy way for you to break into the market. Yes, it might be difficult for you to imagine and just discover the product that everybody wants, but if you do a lot of research and you are able to discover an item that tends to be selling, please do sell it. It could be a seasonal product. You could find out that as soon as you hit a particular season, say summer or winter, a particular item tends to be selling. Everybody's jumping on the trend. do jump on it and see how you can also make it profitable. Another thing is that just as a follow-up to following trend, you want to keep an eye on your competition, because when you form the habit of always looking at what your counterparts are selling, then you can easily identify when an item is trendy or when everybody in your categories tend to be selling that item, and you also want to do the same. So if quality product is a challenge for you, 3 ways you can actually navigate this: extensive research. Do not be tired about doing it. Sometimes it could be boring. Yes, I get it. It's a boring process. But the more you keep doing it, the more you just get better at it. Follow trends and then monitor your competition. Next thing is finding reliable supplier. This is a typical problem for a lot of people. Not just a rookie problem, even the experienced seller. Sometimes getting a reliable supplier could just prove to be very difficult, because suppliers come and go. Suppliers have new ideas. Sometimes you've been with a supplier for a long time and you wake up one day and the supplier tells you, sorry, I don't have any products for you because somebody else is probably offering a bigger or a better margin. So one way that you combat this, if finding suppliers is becoming like a challenge for you, is to diversify suppliers. Don't just bank or hope on one supplier. If you are sourcing online, develop a system that enables you source from different suppliers online. And if you're also sourcing from brick and mortar stores, let's say thrift stores or the flea markets, just develop a system that will make it possible for you not only to source in one place, because sometimes you go to a particular supplier's shop and you just can't seem to find anything. But the more you diversify your suppliers, the more diversify the kind of product that you also have. Prioritize quality while doing this. The fact that you're just looking for reliable suppliers doesn't mean you should take any shitty supplier in and begin to take in their products because the products are just cheap. Let quality be your priority. And one thing I also see people don't do a lot is that they don't negotiate prices. Sometimes you see that on the supplier's websites, if you source online, the price seems to be fixed. But if you buy once or twice from the supplier, you can go ahead and start a price negotiation discussion. It could be for a friendly email. Hello guys, I've been buying from you for so week, and is it possible that we can renegotiate this price of this item? Because pretty much want to develop a long-lasting relationship from you guys. And believe me, you'll be surprised how many suppliers will be ready and open for such a discussion. And even then, the fact that you are meeting a supplier for the first time doesn't mean that you should just be mute when it comes to pricing. Always form the habit of negotiating prices. So if finding reliable suppliers is proving to be a little problem for you, one thing I can actually advise: diversify suppliers, prioritize quality, and then learn to negotiate prices. Setting competitive prices could also be one of the challenges. Would be a major challenge that you have, because sometimes you want to sell your item at a particular price, but then you realize after all said and done that the price is not competitive, it's too expensive. While every other person is selling at a particular price, you are selling about $10 or $20 above the market price. This could be a challenge, and your duty is to make sure that your price is competitive. And how do you do that? Competitive pricing, you will have to include all your costs. Before you buy an item, make sure that you're taking a look at your cost, the cost that goes with that item. Take a look at what the people are selling. If you have factored in all your costs and you see that you cannot deliver that item at the prevailing market price, the best thing for you to do is pretty much to just stay off that kind of item, except you have a different strategy, which is some people tend to sell an item at a loss for so long until all the competitions just disappear and then they start to be. This is a complex strategy that you as a rookie seller or a semi-experienced seller might want to use. So before you buy an item, always make sure you factored in all your costs. Cost in this case could be cost of physically buying the item, your cost of transportation, and as soon as you have done this, also factor in the eBay cost, which is a cost that you shouldn't forget, because sometimes it appears that young sellers tend to forget that there's a cost associated with you doing business on eBay. So as soon as you factor in all these costs, make sure that the final selling price of your item is such that will guarantee you profit. Shouldn't be always big profit, but sometimes a minimal profit should always be at the end of the transaction. You can't keep running your business at a loss, otherwise sooner or later you're just going to crash out, and sometimes the crash could see you running out of business. Also, you want to use discounts strategically. There are so many tools that eBay has given us. Doesn't mean that you should always use these tools. Discounting your items, always do it after checking that after the discount you still have some meat left on the bone. Otherwise, like I said, you're just going to be running your business at a loss, and at the end of the day, it makes no sense. It doesn't help your business. It doesn't also help your growth. So if setting competitive prices is a problem, One way you can do this is to first check that the price of the item you are buying will deliver you profit, having removed your cost, and always use discount sparingly, use it strategically. If you have something left in terms of profit, if your profit margin is high enough, knock yourself out, offer a 10% discount, offer a 5% discount. But if you're already struggling, let's say you are struggling to make $2 or $3 from a transaction, please be strategic with the way you use discount. Inventory management is giving you headache. I can pretty much relate to this because for a very long time I had dead pies, never knew how to handle it, and it just seemed to be that every time I buy things, it just end up that I sell 2 or 3 of these items and like 10 or 15 just keep lying around, and this is not good for your business. You want to avoid overstocking at all costs. Doesn't matter how beautiful or how good the deal is. Always test the product in the market before you decide to buy more pieces of an item. Yes, sometimes this mistake is very tricky because you go thrifting, you see a particular item, perhaps there are like 50 pieces of it and the price looks so enticing, perhaps it's so cheap, and you just want to go and buy it. You buy off everything because you feel like because the price on the surface level looks so cheap, this should be something that you should be able to sell when you bring it up to eBay. You don't do your due diligence, you buy 50 pieces only for you to bring the item to your warehouse or your shop, wherever your shop is. And you realize that this same item is being sold for the same price, your cost price on eBay. This is a very tricky thing. And what do you have left? You only have a situation where you have an item sitting on the corner of your shop, maybe your warehouse, 50 pieces of this item, no one is selling because you cannot seem to sell this item at a price that you think you will make a profit. So avoid overstocking. If you see something that's too good to be true, always double check. Make sure you buy strategically. Don't be in a hurry to pay for items. It's okay to buy 1 or 2 pieces. It's okay to buy 3. But if you have tested it and you see that the item is good, you can then go back and take more pieces. And then learn to use an inventory management software. Yes, this in the beginning might be quite difficult for young sellers, but beginning to learn to use an inventory management software is pretty much direction to go if you want to succeed. And then move old stocks. Sometimes, yes, it's sad. Sometimes items are lying down for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months. They don't seem to be selling. Nobody is sending you offers. Just go ahead and move old stocks. You could sell this item at half price. You could even sell it at a loss. But at the end of the day, just make sure your workspace, your warehouse, your garage is always free from old stock, because if you don't get rid of them, sooner or later, there's going to be a pile of inventories that no one wants to buy. And all this, when you keep seeing it, always have a way of discouraging you, discouraging your efforts, and this is not good. As soon as you see that the item is piling up, do everything within your power to let it go. It is what it is. Sometimes you win some and sometimes you lose some. Optimizing listings. This cannot be stressed enough, especially when it has to do with listings. The advice I definitely give is to use high quality photos. Yes, gone are the days where you say the other seller is selling and has really dark photos. This is not supposed to be for you. Just you are trying to be different. You are trying to be that seller that everybody sees his shop and say, wow, this person has put in a lot of effort to set up this listing because the pictures you are using are top notch. You have made different angles of the item you are trying to sell. Gone are the days where you need a high quality camera to do this. Your iPhone, your Samsung phone. In 2024, it's pretty much good, if not better than most cameras. So ensure that you take time to make high quality photos. Detailed descriptions. Yes, this is something that is also overlooked. Some people, I don't know why it's so, are always in a hurry to just set up an offer. I see some listing on eBay and I wonder, what? You've bought these items, now you want to sell it. Why is it so difficult for you to just put a kind of a detailed description on this item? If you feel so lazy to do this, thankfully there are AIs that can actually help you in this process. Ensure that you put in some minimal effort to describe the items you are selling. If you are selling new items, pretty much different ball game. But if you are selling used items, the buyer wants to know what the nature of wear and tear is on the item. Please do not feel lazy about this. This is something that actually helps your buyer experience on your shop. Try to describe your items as much as you can. And SEO optimization. Ensure that you are using the right keywords for the items that you are selling while creating your listing. Just make sure, look up the keywords a lot of sellers are using. Also try to use it, put your twist on it. Dare to be unique, and in this way you can actually optimize your listings. Dealing with unhappy customers, yes, this is part of the package. Don't expect that you're going to be selling online making banks, making 10,000 euro a month without having to deal with unhappy customers. Some customers are just who they are. They are unhappy. It doesn't matter what you do for them. All you have to do is be responsive, handle returns gracefully. Don't be lax about it. When you see that somebody is trying to contact you because of a return, do make sure you respond immediately. Gather feedbacks from your buyers. If you have the systems in place, perhaps you have a note that you include in the box that you ship out to your customers. Always include it and make sure you gather feedback, good or bad, from your customers. I'm going to be making a separate video showing you how a negative feedback could also be a blessing in disguise for your shop, because it shows you exactly what to change, what you are doing wrong, and it just helps you to improve your shop on the whole. So as much as possible, learn to always gather feedbacks from your buyers. Utilize multiple platforms. This is a gray area. I pretty much started also by selling not only on eBay but also on other platforms. Might be daunting in the beginning for young sellers, but understand that you cannot only put all your eggs in one basket. It is what it is. The more you can learn to diversify your sales channels, the better it's going to be for you. You want to understand each platform, because truth be said, not all platforms are the same. Some have a listing style, some have a description style. You want to just make sure 2-3 platforms, which I feel is just enough, will go a long way in helping you, especially when things don't just happen to sell on one platform. Back in the days, I pretty much found a way to overcome this stress, because then I was selling on Facebook Marketplace, selling on eBay. So whenever eBay was down, I still did get sales from Marketplace. Learn to utilize multiple platforms. It could be difficult, sometimes could be challenging, because sometimes, yes, if you just have an item and it says on eBay and you forget to delete it on the other platforms that you sell on, then you might have this problem where a customer buys the item and you do not have the item to ship out. But the more you put in these reps, the more you practice this, you're just going to only get better doing it. Navigating legal and financial requirements. Yes, tax is real. You need to pay taxes on the income you get from eBay. This is something a lot of people don't also think about. They feel like everything is so easy on eBay. You post an item, the item says, and eBay pays money to your account, and they feel like it's game over. No, this is not the end of the road. You still have to do your tax return at the end of the year, and keeping detailed records whenever you buy an item, make sure you have evidence of this purchase, would actually go a long way to helping you. You want to understand taxes, even though at the end of the day, I'm going to advise you, this is something you want to give to a professional. You can actually seek help from registered CPA. I'm not a tax advisor, and I'm not even claiming to be such, but I want to say that on this, you want to actually get help. Even though you are going to understand some things, some basic things about taxes, but it makes a whole lot of sense to always get professional help when it comes to taxes. You want to protect yourself legally. Please, these are things that you do not want to skip over. They could be a very serious source of stress, so please do not gloss over this. Ensure that your sales records, everything you sell, is well documented. If you are in the habit of sending invoices to buyers, which I believe you should always do, make sure you keep your own copy, so that in the day of reckoning, when the taxman comes and wants to see your books, you always have something organized to present. Once again, always seek professional help when it comes to the issue of taxes. Continuous learning. eBay is just a game. It doesn't matter if it's just eBay, it could be Amazon, it could be any online platform. It's just a continuous learning process. Just like your day job, you want to stay educated, you want to network with people, you want to adapt. If there is a changing technology, you want to be smart enough to learn it and adapt. And you also want to innovate. Sometimes nothing is changing, technology is staying the same, but you just cannot continue to do things the way everybody is doing it. You want to keep testing and be innovative, develop sometimes your own solutions to a particular problem. This is something that I can highly recommend. If you are having problems, you don't have ideas about so many things, sometimes the more willing and eager you are to learn, means that the problem is definitely going to be solved sooner or later. Always educate yourself, read articles, read blogs, develop the habit of comparing notes with other resellers. On social media, there are a lot of groups that are meant to help you network with people, adapt, and always be in the habit of innovating things. Mindsets and persistence. You see, 90% of your struggles on eBay is going to be with your mindset, because definitely there are times your mind is going to play tricks on you. You might be discouraged. You might be feeling that this whole thing doesn't work. You might feel like this whole thing is just a waste of time, especially when you don't get support from the people that loves you. Yes, you have to stay positive. You have to keep your head up, learn from your failures. Sometimes failures are not always a bad signal. Sometimes they are ways for you to learn, because sometimes if you don't fail, how do you know what's working and what's not working? So you have to always embrace failure sometimes as a positive feedback, because it gives you an indication of what you need to change, what you need to do better. And it all starts with the mindset. If the mindset is faulty, then it's going to be a very difficult ride. Ensure that you build your mind. Always read books about personal development, about self-development. Read books about mindset development. There are a lot of videos on YouTube that's going to help you in this direction. But understand that patience is needed to succeed on eBay. Staying positive, especially when things are not selling, and ensure that you're reading materials that will help you build a healthy and successful mindset. If you've made it thus far in the video, I will say congratulations. Yes, it was kind of a longer video, but do ensure that you implement these steps. Don't just be someone that listens or watches videos without taking action. Take action and make sure you do everything within your power to succeed selling on eBay. But if you still have challenges, do feel free to join my WhatsApp group. I'm going to be leaving a link in the description below. We're going to give ourselves a lot of support. Nobody knows it all. Most times, iron sharpeneth iron. Feel free to be part of the group so that we can share our knowledge of this thing that we're all doing. Feel free to join the group. We all have a common goal, which is to succeed selling on the eBay platform. And for those of you that are not subscribed to the channel, please ensure that you are subscribed. Go ahead and like the video, share it to your friends. Until I see you again, peace.